Thank you, thank you. And the irony of the moment is that when I leave here, I'm going back to Rikers Island to speak with a group of young people who did not have these opportunities. And that is why it's so profound that we take our administration upstream, because the goal is not to wait till young people fall in the river of despair and then spend countless number of dollars and hours and miss opportunities, but to go upstream and provide them the services that they deserve. And so I want to thank Kenneth Gibbs and the entire hospital staff here. Even as borough president, I remember the role you played during COVID-19, your entire team, and how responsive you were to the community. But also I want to thank a real visionary on our team, Deputy Mayor Wright, for how she took a program and made it something new and something different. It's more than just going to get a paycheck. How does that experience transform you? So I really want to thank you, Deputy Mayor, for your vision on making sure this summer youth employment program was something that our young people could ensure that they could have a productive future. But, before we get into the program, I want to just talk about the good news of COVID. As we hear at the hospital, the COVID data is showing that this administration, with a steady hand, has navigated us through the turbulent times of COVID-19, a formidable opponent. COVID-19 is a formidable opponent. And if you don't have the right partnerships like we've developed with Speaker Adams, we like to say the Adams and Adams law firm, making these right decisions, it's difficult to navigate this ship through these turbulent waters. But as of last week, hotel demands, they were at 747,000. New York has recovered 94% of the 2019 pre-pandemic demands. We are on course. New York City had the highest hotel occupancy among the top 25 markets. So we're leading the way. The Statue of Liberty, which is another indicator of visitorship, has recovered 80% of its pre-pandemic levels. So people are coming to New York to see the Lady in the Harbor and enjoy what this city has to offer. Times Square weekly and weekend average foot traffic exceeded 2019 averages, and they have a high watermark since 2019 of 445,000 people in Times Square on Saturday. A New York City and Company raised its forecast last month of the number of tourists. We're now predicted to receive 56 million compared to only 33 million in 2021. We're moving in the right direction. They set a record for tourism. In 2019, we set a record for tourism, and we're going to get close to that this year. And that's in addition to the 85,000 new jobs that have been created since January 1st. So I just think that as we talk about summer youth employment, we want to also talk about the employment of the city. Our city is recovering. We made the right decisions, and we will continue to do so. We're not out of the woods yet dealing with COVID. That's why we need the partnerships here at the hospitals and how we continue to evolve our way of getting testing and vaccines and medicine to those who are in need. But switching back to why we're here today, we're talking about summer youth employment. And if we want our young people to strive for a better city or better life, we have to create better opportunities. And that's the goal of this administration. And what I'm hearing from parents, that COVID has had a devastating impact on our young people. Many of them are sitting isolated at home. Many of them miss critical years of communicating and interacting with each other. We thought it was a hard impact on adults. But just imagine missing your prom, missing your football practice or your team sports, not being able to interact with your friends and families, but just basically isolated, playing video games or being restricted to moving outside. We have to acknowledge that, and we must do everything possible to make up for lost time. They've forgotten how to communicate and engage in a very real way. And summer youth employment is going to allow us to move this into another level. And what our young people need now is a future that they can see, future that they can believe in, and not the pessimism that COVID-19 brought to our city and our country. And it's a future which they belong and where they can make a difference in a real way. This year's New York City Summer Youth Employment Program is providing New York City's youth an opportunity to learn and make a difference in the world in a historical way. As Deputy Mayor Wright acknowledged, over 100,000 summer youth employment jobs, something that many of the advocates have been pushing for so many years, and we got it done. We accomplished that. From July 5th to the 19th, they are interning at places like this amazing hospital, NYPD, the highest number of summer youth employment in the NYPD since the history of this program. You're talking about building relationship between public safeties and young people. This is what we're doing. They're going to be at the parks and other areas as well. In the private sector, they're learning from places like Google and other technology companies on how to be prepared for the business of the future. But the best part about it, I'm sure many of our summer youth were saying, they're getting paid. They're going to make some money, some moolah, some cash, some dineros. Whatever language you say it, they're happy to get it. And as we know from past experiences, we're going to, those who go into careers with summer youth employment, they continue to move in those careers. Of my understanding, we have a young lady who is went through this hospital and now thinking about going to medical school, being exposed. Feels like healthcare and nursing, which have been so important, especially during COVID as we deal with the nursing shortage that we are experiencing. And I want to really give a real shout out to the New York State Nurses Association and 1199. They're providing such a service for these young people and a service for our city every day. They're partners in ensuring our healthcare move in the right direction. The experiences of SYEP is only one half of the equation. Where yes, we're providing paid jobs for young people for careers and moving to an upstream solution, but we're doing something else. We secured $216 million in baseline funding. So this means every year these children are not going to have to wonder that they are going to be employed during the summer months, but it's going to be a continuation of this funding throughout the years. But we're doing something else in this initiative. We're going after those children that are in higher needs, children who had careers, who are having careers or lives like I had as a child. We set aside 13,000 slots for youth living in NYCHA, highest level in history. And additional spots for foster care. Many of our foster care children are slipping through the cracks, so we're going after them to make sure they don't. Those children who are living in insecure housing, students with disabilities, students in DOE transfer schools, and or receiving public assistance. This makes a total of 20,000 slots for young New Yorkers who need these opportunities the most, up from 13,000. Additional 7,000 slots we're targeting for young people who need this exposure, this experience, and this financial support as well. But there's more to it as well. Not only are we going to pay our children, our young people, the $15 an hour, but we also, which I really want to thank Deputy Mayor Wright for doing, we are going to make sure that our children learn about financial literacy, how to build credit, how to budget, what's a W-2 form, how to interact in the office space. We're going to teach them mindfulness. We're going to teach them self-care. We're going to teach them how to interact in a business environment. As we state now, 60% of the youth that participate in SYEP have enrolled in direct deposit. I didn't enroll in direct deposit until I was adult, long into receiving my paychecks. They're learning early. And then we're going to take them outside of their living environment. We're going to take them to Wall Street, take them to the UN, take them to City Hall to see how we get stuff done. We're going to expose them to this entire city instead of allowing them to believe that their block is the globe. No, the globe goes beyond what their neighborhood shows them every day. We know the best learning experience happens in a traditional classroom setting, but the sterilized environment of a classroom is not the only educational experience. It goes beyond that, and we want to show them the various forms and ways to interact and further explore their possibilities and what they can offer to this city. This city is diverse. As you look at the young people who are here today that's with us, it's a diverse city, and we want them to experience that diversity as they evolve as young adults. Living in a city of this size, with this level of diversity, we know we have to rely on each other, and that's what we do. So we care about our young people, we care about our parks, we care about our public safety and public transportation, our public schools, and we care about the good energy that they're going to bring to this conversation and this experience. And our young people, as people say, are our most valuable assets, but we have not invested in those assets the way we should have throughout the years. This administration is stating we will do so. We will show our young people that we value their talents, we value their voices, we value their experiences, that the present moment is one of opportunity. We're going to seize the moment, and we're going to provide the opportunity and the skills. Far too many young people have not had those opportunities. And those are the young people I'm going to visit today on Rikers Island. But as I start my day off with optimism of what we can do, I'm going to bring that energy across the bridge on an island that has been an island that was filled with despair for far too many young people. We can get this right, New York. And we're saying today, by investing in our young people, we got it right on this end, and we're going to continue to get it right throughout the years. And so I want to thank all of our partners, particularly the Speaker, who helped us carve out this bill and the funding allocation to make sure we look towards our young people with the unprecedented investments and young people in this budget during these difficult times. This was a budget for families, and you had to have the right partner to accomplish that. So thank you very much.